Episode 6. The Shift. Sparks in Silence. Kiera's boldness, Zayne's stare, and the moment that changed everything. In this episode, questions begin to find answers, and hearts start to shift. Watch as the line between rivalry and curiosity slowly fades. The auditorium had mostly emptied now. Echoes of applause still hung in the air like dust that refused to settle. Kiera stood at the edge of the stage, trophy in hand, her breath steady but heart racing. She hadn't looked for Zayne, but somehow she found him anyway, across the hall, still seated, eyes on her. He didn't look away. Earlier that day, Zayne had walked into that hall with his hands in his pocket, cool as always, but his mind restless. He hadn't seen Kiera since that awkward hallway collision days ago, the one that left them both wide-eyed and silent, the one he couldn't stop thinking about. She had changed, not just her words, but her presence, bold, sharp, but warm, and he hated that he admired it. Backstage, Kiera leaned against the wall, letting the silence soak in before heading out. That's when Dami ran in, beaming. "You killed it out there," Dami squealed, pulling her into a hug. Kiera smiled, but her eyes flicked toward the door. "You looking for someone?" Dami teased. "No, just clearing my head." But Dami noticed. Kiera had looked toward the hall, toward Zayne. Outside, Zayne and his friends walked across the courtyard. "She was good," one of them said. "Too good," another added. "So, you still mad?" the third smirked. Zayne didn't answer. He just shrugged, but something in his silence said, maybe not. The next day at school, things felt different. Not loud, not dramatic, just different. Kiera sat in the library, headphones in, notebook open. She didn't notice Zayne walk in until he stood beside her table, hands in pocket again, a hesitant look on his face. "Hey." She looked up slowly, removing one earbud. "Hey." A pause. Not awkward, just full. "You were really good at the competition," he said, finally. She tilted her head slightly, surprised. "Thanks." Another pause. "I'm not saying I agree with everything you said," he added, trying not to grin. Kiera smirked. "Of course not. That would be too much for your ego." He chuckled. She didn't expect that, and somehow she liked the sound. He pulled out a chair, didn't sit yet, just hovered. "Can I?" Kiera looked at the empty seat, then back at him. "For someone who bumped into me in the hallway and didn't say sorry, you ask a lot of questions." Zayne grinned now. "I'm asking now." Kiera shrugged, trying not to smile. "Suit yourself." And just like that, he sat. Not as enemies, not as rivals, not even as friends. Just two people who suddenly didn't mind the silence between them. And somewhere between that silence and the half-smile they exchanged, the journey began. Watch out for Episode 7.